Welcome back to Rephotography. If you watched my previous video on the 14 process steps, the 3 that probably intrigue people the most are how to prepare the past image, how to prepare and select the present image, and then of course finally how to merge those 2 images together. I thought about creating one video covering all those 3, but I quickly realized that would probably exceed 30 minutes. And my goal here is to try to aim for a 10-minute video. So I'm going to have to produce 3 separate videos on this. Benefit for yourself though is that when you just need guidance on one of those particular sections, you can quickly choose that applicable video. Now, I have to say that I'm not an authority on either Lightroom or Photoshop, and those are the tools that I'll be using here. So I'm looking for feedback from yourself. When you see that I'm not doing things the most efficient way, the best way, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. The other thing is that this is not intended to be a training course on either of those. If you need some guidance, if you need some help, just let me know and I'll point you in the direction of some really good teachers that I found on YouTube. So with that, let's start by working on the past image. So let's go through the process in preparing the old postcard, the past image. And what I've selected here, this is a postcard from Bonneville, which is my local hometown. And the reason I've chosen this image is that there are 3 elements that I look for in my old images. That's interest in the foreground, the midground, and the background. In the foreground, we have this wonderful old car that I hope somebody will tell me what it actually is. Then in the midground, we see the town of Bonneville. And there's actually not been so many changes in the town. And then in the background we have the mountain called the Mole, our local mountain that we're very proud of. And just to show you what we're going to convert this into, if I jump into Photoshop, here's the final merged version. So we can see here that I've got the bridge, which is showing the past combined with the present, and we can see the interest on both sides in the town, and a beautiful image of the mole in the background. So that's what I intend to finish with. So going through the past image, so this is the image as I obtained it. The first thing I'm going to do is to crop and get rid of the borders. And what I always do with my past images, convert them into black and white, and then go through the different profiles that are available for black and white. The point to remember here is you don't need to pay attention to the complete image, because I'm only going to be using half of this image, which is typically the details in the lower half. That's where you'll find the people, the transport, the shops. So what I'm most interested in is really this section of the image, the car, this building here, the buildings here, the steps. So again, I'm going to look through the profiles and determine which one best suits the image, which one I think is going to give me the most contrast with the present image, which is going to be in full color. And I would say I'm going to go with black and white 5, close. At this point I could do some further adjustments. What I tend to do is use the auto function. I have a lot of faith in the Adobe engineers and very smart people. So I look at the auto results, then I'm going to go down and do the auto in transform to correct any shift in the buildings, or if the postcard isn't exactly in the right horizontal vertical condition. Okay, so at this point I now want to look at the size of the image, and we can see here the image is 1557 pixels across, and this is where I'm going to take this image into Upscayl and get a 4x improvement, but also you'll see an improvement in the details within the image. So I've already configured Upscayl to be connected with Lightroom, so I just need to right click, edit in Upscayl, and it's going to take a copy. Actually, it's going to create a copy. It doesn't move it into Upscayl. I wish there was a way to do this. If somebody knows how, please let me know. So now I go select the image, and I've got the image here. So open, and then I've configured Upscayl so that it automatically will move the image back into the same folder. So I just need to press Upscayl, and now it's going to go through its magic in converting. I'll probably put the image on hold here and revert once it's finished. Okay, so Upscayl has finished, and look at before and after. I see more contrast. So we're going to work with this. So I can close Upscayl now, and here we need to go back into the library module, and Lightroom doesn't automatically recognize that the image has been returned. So we need to synchronize, and in fact there's two versions that it's found, because I actually tried two different models within Upscayl. So now press I. We can see this image is 6,200 pixels across. The next thing I'm going to do is to take this into Photoshop. So again, right click, edit in Photoshop, edit a copy, and I'm using the beta version of Photoshop principally because I've got the option here for adjustment brush tool, which I think is a great addition, and I'm sure it's going to become a standard tool within Photoshop. But what I'm looking at here is the filter, going into neural filters. Down at the bottom we have this photo restoration filter. You may need to download this filter. I use it frequently, so it's common. It's fixed on my Photoshop. I use it just about every time. Okay, it's finished. You can see an improvement in the quality there. Now you could save this to a new layer and then work between the two, but I always just work on the current layer. Save that, okay. And now I'm going to save a copy. So save. And we're just about done with the past image. There may be some more modifications I'm going to do when I go into the merging section, but for the time being I'm good with this. So the next section would be working on the present image. So please join me there. I'll be uploading that video very shortly. Thanks, goodbye.